welcome to the Football Manc Cave chats with Paul Jolleys from Curzon Ashton. How are you doing, Paul? You all right?
I'm good, Ian. Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm good, mate. I'm good. Surviving as we all are in a little bit of a nut house.
Yeah, I know that feeling, mate. I know that feeling.
Jesus, tonight. So how's things going with Curzon? What's going on with this? Obviously, the COVID's obviously taking over everybody's life and it's affecting everybody. But obviously, non-league football. You know what I mean? They haven't got the millions that the Premier League have got in the Championship. So how's Curzon sort of coping with that?
So, well, I suppose, I mean, our club's multifaceted in terms of, obviously, we've got the first team in the National League, then we've got our junior section, that's a significant part, and our foundation. From a first team perspective, obviously, things changed overnight.
Yeah.
With the lockdown, etc. We knew quite quickly, from a league point of view, that we weren't going to complete the season, and I suppose in some ways that makes life a little bit easier because you know what you're dealing with. It allowed us to understand what our commitments would be from a financial perspective. Honouring payments to the players, etc. And seeing that out at the same time as literally overnight the tap being turned off in terms of income streams through our 3G pitch and leisure facilities and the room hire and that type of thing. So yeah, and now it's just really a case of trying to understand what happens next, really, and getting ready for next season.
You mentioned the 3G pitches and such like. Obviously, I've been down to Curzon quite a lot, and I know it's a massive community club. So, what are you doing within the community to sort of help along? Because I know Curzon are like they were doing all they can. So, what is it you're doing? If you can give us shed more light.
So actually, one of the things that we'd started and really started to gather momentum before the lockdown, 6-7 weeks before the lockdown, we've been doing a mindfulness day on a Friday where people from the community could come along, have a free meal, and join in sessions like a yoga or drawing, that type of thing.
Yeah.
So obviously that had to stop straight away. So one of the things that we've done off the trying to be creative is just in this last few days we've got to pack out an activity pack with colouring book for the kids, skipping ropes, that type of thing, just to get back out to that population that we're starting to engage and really enjoy the Friday sessions, and that seems to be going down well. The other thing that we're doing as well through our facilities is that the kitchens are being used. So as I say, we were making meals for people who wanted them on a Friday.
Yeah,
but now the kitchens are being used to prepare meals for key staff and vulnerable people in the community, which is brilliant, really. Obviously, otherwise the ground's lying idle. So we're pleased that it's being used.
And I noticed something on your Twitter as well. Is that you're trying to reach £10,000? Is there a link I sent on the Twitter page? Yeah,
that's right. We set up a crowdfunder page. Well, the link is on our Twitter account if anyone wants to contribute to it. Obviously, no one really knows still at this stage what it means in terms of when we'll be able to set back up as a business, allow people to hire the facilities, etc.
Yeah.
And one of the things that we really need to be able to do is make sure that facility is there for people to come back to. So we've reached just over £6,000 at the moment. The target was 10. So I can't thank the community enough. There's been great contributions, large and small, but every single thing we can guarantee will be going towards making sure there's a club for everyone to come back to at the end of this.
That's brilliant. Obviously, like I say, community as well. And I think everybody during this has realised what the community means. Because I think everybody's kind of got into themselves, haven't they, over the recent years, and stuff like a local football team. People just think it's part and parcel. But obviously, with the way Curzon work as well, like backwards and forwards of hopefully, I presume for yourselves, you'll be hoping it has that benefits, obviously, when we get back, and financially, obviously, moving forward, push Curzon on.
Yeah, you'd really like to think so. Like you say, I think this period of time's been a really good opportunity to reflect on priorities in everybody's lives, hasn't it? I was saying to somebody the other day that it's given me the opportunity to get out and about, whilst I'm doing exercise for walks and stuff like that around Ashton again. And I've lived here all my life, and I'd forgotten about some of the great opportunities within the community. And for us, obviously, Curzon's a big part of that as well, and we want it to be a big part of that. It already is for hundreds of kids and vulnerable people, etc. But we want to see that grow, and hopefully at the end of this, more people will recognise us as a club from the community, and that will help us on and off the pitch, hopefully.
Yeah, 100%. Sailing back to the football, obviously Curzon, with about 12 points off safety as the season voided. That was.
Yeah, so I think we're still officially waiting on how mathematically we conclude the season. But we should be okay in any scenario or any of the scenarios that have been talked about. I think we were on a good run, and we would have pulled away anyway. I don't think we would have ended the season as where we were, just right on that, on the cusp, as it were, of that relegation zone. We'd had a string of great performances towards the end of the season. We just needed to pick up the wins, really, which our last game before the lockdown was against Bradford Park Avenue. Great performance, rewarded with a win, and I think that's testament to what Mark had created as well, which is a good core of players that that can be relied on. During the course of the season, we were hit with really bad luck with injuries to a number of our key players on contract as well.
Right.
So Mark had to be creative. He had to use his network to get lads in. Obviously, we still have to work within a budget. We're not blessed with mega bucks at Curzon, that's for sure. So yeah, and actually we managed to get some really good lads in. As I say, it was good to see us finish, if you like, on the season on a win, because it was what the lads deserved, I think.
Yeah, he's building a nice little team there as well. I've noticed. I watched you last season win the Manchester FA Cup, the Frank Anna Cup.
Yeah.
And it looked like a decent squad. And obviously, when Mark took over, that run you went on, I know we talked about the playoffs. I know you weren't too happy with us, but it looked like you were going that way, weren't it? And obviously, that nucleus is there to crack on. Is that something you want to push for next season?
Definitely. I mean, we actually had a lot of changes last summer. A few of the of our long-standing players under John Flanagan's reign as well moved on. In fact, our captain Jono's coming round to fix my roof at some point in the next few days. So let's just say hello to Jono. But no, they moved on, and as I say, Mark had to act quickly to get some good quality replacements in, and we really think we've got that with, we've had the likes of Robbie Evans, Isaac Sinclair, Nicky Rowe, great experience coming in, Cam Mason, the goalkeeper, gives us a real good opportunity then to build and complement that with, as I say, youth team players and so on. So I think what we'll look to do next season, as I say, building on that core, is try and take the opportunity to, I think we've proved to a few Premier League sides that we're a good club and a good ground for some of their younger players to come to and experience men's football for the first time. So, that together, I think will give us a real good opportunity next season.
Yeah, and am I right in saying you've got like a little, I don't know if it's a partnership or not, but with Burnley, do they sort of ferry players over? How does that?
Yeah, well, Burnley's under 23s have played at Tameside Stadium for the last couple of seasons now,
right.
And so that relationship's been building. It's it's really good. Obviously, it started just purely on a them using the facilities. But the longer that's gone on, you get to know people. As I say, they've learned to trust us. They've learned or they've seen our methods and Mark's methods, I should say, more so. And yeah, that's led to offering us a number of their players again, just to get that experience.
Which obviously can only benefit yourselves in the long run, can't it? Do you know what I mean? Going into next season, we don't actually know what's going to go on. I'm hoping that it's all done and dusted, but it's not going to be that easy. But if the season were to start as it normally starts, what's your kind of probably one aim for Curzon Ashton, and two, where would you like to see him? Where would you like to see him progress to?
Yeah, I think we're always realistic, but we're also ambitious. Again, we're playing at the highest level that we played at. We're sustained that position now for the last few years, so we want to be pushing up. And I think, with a bit of good fortune, we can develop a squad of players that can be certainly above mid-table and potentially pushing for those playoff places. I think Harry Twomley might have a heart attack if we ever got to the position of being promoted or to the National League. But yeah, that's got to be the target. We've been able to bring in a set of too good of players really to be down the bottom again. But equally, it's a very, very tough league to be part of. That's for sure.
Yeah, you can see it's so competitive down there. I don't think people give it credit, that league, of how hard it probably is to get out. Over the years, obviously watching a little bit more closely through Football Manc Cave, I've noticed how competitive. You don't really get often a runaway leader. It seems to be dog eat dog.
No, you're right, and it's become more competitive over the last few years. I think it's fair to say. The finances, across other clubs, that have gone up as well. Obviously, we've seen the likes of Salford come through the divisions, and teams come out of the league as well, and play at our level, and all of that sort of makes it a really competitive mix. Yeah. But having said that, as I say, I think I like the idea of good young footballers who maybe didn't progress, professionally in the way that they did, being able to compete against one another and at a decent level. And I think that's what the National League North is offering us. I think it's really good to watch. I think a lot of people probably don't appreciate that, to be fair, outside of the program.
The other thing that surprised me the most is the standard of the pitches and the grounds. Because you instantly, a lot of people think non-league and you think Sunday League pitches. Yeah. I know Curzon Ashton's pitch is probably one of the best pitches I've seen. I think we came down last year and it was just getting turned over as such, weren't it? But you can play decent football down at that league. And and you're right, and that suits our ethos, in terms of playing as well. Certainly helps us attract the right type of player. Yeah. Who could potentially go for bigger money elsewhere and that type of thing, but they know that they've got a great pitch, great facilities to train on as well. And actually, our pitch was fundamental to getting Burnley involved in the first place. They looked at it. They see the effort that the ground staff put into maintaining it, and they said, we'd be more than comfortable getting our lads on there. So it's a massive selling point, I think, for our club, that's for sure. And massive thanks to the lads who are maintaining that for us week in, week out, day in, day out. I know, definitely so. Last, before I leave, I just want you to give us some direction for the 10k target. Where can people, if they want to donate, head to?
Yeah, so if you go to our Twitter feed, so at Curzon Ashton, there's a pinned tweet there. Takes you directly through to the crowdfunder page. And yeah, if they want to donate, we've got on that page, actually, based on whatever we raise, it'd be great to get to the 10,000 or more, but whatever we raise, we're going to be offering free tickets to Frontline staff for next season as well. So for every £20 contributed, we'll be giving free tickets out. So, as well as the contribution helping us, hopefully again that's another thing that helps us bring the community together. And I just want to say one final thing, if I can, Ian.
Go on.
I just wanted to acknowledge the support that we've had from our junior section and the parents within the junior section. Obviously, we haven't had any football now for a couple of months, but the vast majority of our parents have been able to maintain their subscription contributions to the club, which is really, really vital for the junior section. We sort of account on a full 12 months basis. Obviously, never been in a position like this, so we could have really struggled not only to sort of finish things off and make sure we pay all our bills, but more so get up and running for next season. So I just wanted to say a massive thank you to all the parents as well that have helped us out over the last couple of months and continue to do so.
That's it, and going right back to where we started, that's why Curzon Ashton's such a good community club.
Yeah,
right. Go on, sorry, Paul. Thank you for your time, Paul. We'll meet up hopefully pre-season, and we can have a see what's going on. What do you make of it all? What do you think's going to happen going forward?
Who knows? There's a bit of me that would like to think people will look at football maybe more realistically moving forward in terms of the finances of the game and genuinely clubs living within the means. We've always done that, but you tend to be at a disadvantage if you run your club like that. There's a lot of speculating to accumulating football that doesn't always come off. And I hope that everybody, all clubs can get through this. We're reading today about League One and League Two clubs and having the ability to finish the seasons or not, whatever. And obviously it comes right down to us. But for me, I just hope everybody takes stock, is sensible about how we move forwards, and actually, if not above all else, I think once we get back on the pitch, we'll realise how much we've missed the game.
Yeah, just appreciate it.
Exactly.
Never in this lifetime, I hope. We're never going to get it. Yeah.
Let's hope so.
Right, cheers for your time, Paul. Thank you very much, mate.
Take it easy, and thank you.
See you later. Bye-bye.